In a no vote for a proposed policy that would allow students to use bathrooms according to their gender identity.
Standing firm in its decision to suspend a transgender student.
Says no to allowing little Kai to use the girls' restroom.
She was harassed when she went to the bathroom.
Sexual assault of a transgender woman.
Greater risk of sexual assault and of sex assault.
41% suicide rate.
Hi, I am Julia, and my pronouns are they, them.
Karina, that is Carina.
Grayson, my pronouns are they, them.
My name is Nick.
Holden Bender Bernstein.
Brandon. Elliot.
Your body just reacts so violently that you have to be completely awake.
I'm the cowboy. I identify as non-binary, specifically agender, even though people don't tend to use that word very often, because I don't feel as if I fit into a girl or boy binary of sorts. So I don't feel comfortable going by either of those pronouns or titles, so I sit somewhere either outside of it or in the middle.
I was feeling this prevalent sense of insecurity, and it kind of always felt like I was putting on an act. I was just very sort of lost, and that was influenced by a lot of factors in my life, but I think a big part of it was also my gender, and so I would notice like I would feel a lot more security as I leaned into, you know, masculinity and exploring those parts of my identity.
Right before my sophomore year of Emerson, I, like, the day before I left, I chopped the rest of my hair off and, like, was like, he, him. And, like, since then I've been like, I don't use the word man to describe myself. I think it's kind of sticky because I feel like I have experiences that get so excluded if I say that I'm a man, but I use, like, male and boy and guy, and, like, that's just felt so right ever since then. And, like, well, I have a lot of respect for, like, non-binary, like, binary adjacent stuff. Like, I think I kind of consider myself, like, binary adjacent, but, I feel that I fit really, really well into the label of, like, maleness.
Finally, like, after trying to find a perfect label, I was just like, no, I'm just gonna go with non-binary.
If I have to use a multi-stall bathroom, I will go for the men's room because I'm a guy. I don't really feel comfortable going into the women's bathroom when I present as a guy. Also, men's bathrooms that are like public restrooms are scary.
Usually public restrooms, they're only like male or female. A lot of the times there's not a gender neutral option, especially since I'm from a small town and pretty much every single place where there were public restrooms, there were only male and female restrooms. So having to pick between one of those and then always ending up going with female just because, like, that's what I've been raised to be more comfortable in.
What kind of place is it? Who's going to be there? What are the demographics? You know, how many people are going to be cycling through the restroom? Is it like a place where there's going to be a lot of stalls, so I'll be able to jump right into one, or is there going to be a line? Just stuff like that, and so all that will kind of weigh on my mind when I first realize I have to go to the bathroom in a public place, and a lot of the time it just results in me holding it.
I do remember multiple times almost getting beaten up in the bathroom, and things said to me, violence almost occurring, me having to stop a lot of stuff.
Using the gender neutral bathroom, I guess, is like more liberating. It just feels like I belong there and no one's gonna judge me for being there.
I can think of a multitude of reasons many people would want to use a single stall bathroom. Because of various like insecurity, because of various physical limitations, because of their gender identity, and I think it's a great resource that really everyone should have access to. And so it's frustrating to see that while something is being provided, it's so just restricted in a lot of ways because of scarcity of them.
When I use the single stall bathrooms, I worry that I'm taking space away from people whose physical limitations on their body necessitate use of that bathroom, whereas mine doesn't.
And so it becomes a problem where I'm having to traverse floors and hunt for a bathroom that, will match my gender identity where I can shower, for example. Or I go to the bathroom on my floor and I hit the doorknob and it's locked, so I have to go to the women's bathroom and feel uncomfortable because I just don't have the energy to go up and down floors and find a bathroom that I can use.
I'm really lucky in that like no one looks at me funny anymore when I go into public restrooms. Like, I'm stupid lucky in that like I'm fairly cis-passing and that like people don't question my being there.
One of the first memories of using a guy's restroom, I went in after these two boys who were in front of me, and they started whispering about how there was a girl in the bathroom. And then when I went to go use the stall, the two boys got some friends and they started to bang on the stall door, and they started banging louder and louder and screaming things. And then after a while they left, and then I got out after making sure I was safe.
I have a lot of trans friends, especially now that I go to Emerson and I'm exposed to a much larger community than I was in my very small rural town that I grew up in. And I just think trans people are they're very compassionate and so willing to just explore and be so open and accepting. And so I think just as a community, they've really helped me learn a lot about myself, and not just in a gender identity way, but also in just, what I like and what I want to be, what I want to do and who I am.
Something I really love about the trans community, a lot of my journey, and I think a lot of people's journeys with their transness and queer identities, is that it's just a lot of rediscovery and just continuing to learn and discover more about oneself. And I think the trans community and queer community by extension is really great about how sometimes people just want to change their names or change their pronouns and just try out different things. And queer people are usually exceptional, especially trans queer people are especially exceptional at just navigating oh, someone's going by a new name, perfect, just use that name. Someone's using new pronouns, great, just switch automatically.
Somebody says, oh, Julia, they, ABCD, and I was like, yeah, that is me, that's right. Yeah, and it's very comfortable and there we go. I fit in my skin and I fit in my body and everything's okay.
I find that people really bond over it and come together and are really supportive. And just even if you meet another trans person, especially an older trans person, and you have no information about either of you, they'll just immediately adopt you.
Pronouns are great. I think it was probably maybe my junior year of high school. I started trying out different pronouns. It just felt really nice. I don't think I realized until that moment when I actually asked other people to try using different pronouns and they actually did so, how much I just didn't like she, her, how much it just didn't feel like me.
When I cut my hair short, it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulder. I remember I was sitting next to a woman who was getting her hair cut for the first time, and she was about 40 years old. Her hair is down to the floor. It was wild, and we both got our hair cut at the same time. And she got a foot off, and I had hair down to about here at the time. So, and then I got it pretty short too. And so it was a wild experience for us to be doing it together.
Offer to go into bathrooms with your trans friends, and honestly, the same goes for cis-passing trans people. I really don't think it should be any different in that particular regard, because if no one's gonna look at you funny, then you don't have to worry.
Don't make judgments about people's genders or the way they present in bathrooms. Oh, and stop making jokes about bathrooms. If you're a cis girl, oh, I accidentally walked into the male bathroom that was actually the bathrooms with the urinal kind of thing, and it was so disgusting and different, and just kind of jokes about how just jokes about bathrooms and trans stuff in general.
If you're in a bathroom and someone's there, then just like, don't worry about it. It's not your problem, unless they're being like trying to approach you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, obviously. If there's a resource for trans people like the gender neutral bathroom and you don't need it, then don't use it.
Like, I don't see myself as either gender. I just like, I guess just see myself as me